Lucy, and what she had to say yesterday, Lucy Powell, when she sneered and she laughed at the rape victims of the grooming gangs up north. I think it's a resigning matter. I think she should have been sacked. Starmer won't do that, of course, because he's as weak as anything after those elections. If you want to join in, feel free, start putting your comments up. But let's get going on this one. I think this could be a great programme. Has Labour under Keir Starmer completely turned its back on the white working class? That's the question, not just me asking, but many people are asking, after a series of decisions that seem to prioritise so-called political optics over justice and fairness. We already know that white working class boys are the worst achievers at school, but are the rest of us now being left behind as well? From calling Southport protesters, do you remember this? Far-right thugs, which is what Keir Starmer did. He basically classed everybody as a far-right thug. They were just protesting. They were angry. They were upset. However, he's also now, as you know, refusing a full public inquiry into the euphemistically described grooming gangs. And I'll tell you something about that. I watched Groomed, the documentary from Channel 4, watched it this morning. It was one of the most shocking bits of telly I've ever watched. The testimony of those poor girls who are now women and what they went through. They deserve a full public inquiry. Do you agree? We're going to go on to that in a minute. And now, to add to all this, Labour MP Lucy Powell, she's the leader of the Commons. She's one of the top people in the Commons. She was on Any Questions on Radio 4 on Friday or Saturday night. And Tim Montgomery, I know quite well, he's a Conservative commentator. Well, he's not now. He's joined Reform. But he asked her if she had seen the same programme. And she immediately said, oh, here comes the dog whistle politics. Dog whistle politics. The industrial rape of thousands of girls. And that's her bloody attitude. I think it stinks. I think that's a resignation matter. I also think it says something about Starmer's government, because there's got to be a reason why Starmer won't give the full public inquiry. What is he up to? And do they disgust you as much as they disgust me? What's happened is she's had a little chat, and number 10 are going to do nothing. She's not reprimanded, nothing at all. Wes Streeting, the health minister, he was on Laura Kunsberg this morning, or Pravda as I like to call it, and he said, well, we've all made mistakes. Mistakes? If you watch that documentary, that's no mistake. It's a disgrace. And she's another one, just like that woman who didn't like the cross of St. George. And, of course, we had Starmer giving us lessons about our flag, didn't we? She's just another one who looks down her snobby, sneering nose at us, the white working class. The white working class who actually created the Labour Party. So one of my questions to you now is, who represents the working class? I would suggest after the elections on Thursday, it's probably now Reform. I don't think it's Labour. What do you think? Let's talk about that if you fancy. So I'm going to break down the key facts. I'm going to talk about the outrage and what this all means for Labour, hopefully curtains, and for justice in Britain today. Let's get on with it. Also, I'll tell you something else I'm interested in, is the way that Starmer says, oh, there's no problem. We've just got to go harder and faster. I wonder whether he's ever said that before. Harder, faster. Stop it. Stop giggling at the back. Right, here we go then. It's the Jon Gaunt show. Has Keir Starmer and Labour abandoned the white working class? Is now Reform the party of the working class? I want your views. So we're going to talk about Labour and Keir Starmer's stance and their attitude to us, the white working class. We're going to talk about the Southport protest after the savage murder of those 3 girls. We're going to talk about the grooming gang inquiry and whether we're ever going to get one, a proper, full public inquiry. We're going to talk about the TV programme as well. I did wonder, has Starmer sat down with his lad and watched Groomed? You know, he made this big fuss. I mean, I liked Adolescence. A lot of people didn't, but I thought it was a good film. It's fiction, of course. But he said he sat down and then he wanted every school to watch it. Well, Sir Keir, are you going to get every school to show Groomed? I think you should. So Lucy Powell, is that a sackable offence, what she did? If you've not heard the audio, she sneers. Dog whistle politics. Who the hell does she think she is? These are our concerns. Tim Montgomery is saying, well, people are concerned about this. She just dismisses it. And that's what he's like. He didn't say, well, why are you rioting? Why are you upset? He just called you far-right thugs. He didn't want to understand. Who was it who famously said, I want to understand less and condemn more? I was a prime minister, but that's not the answer, especially if you're an uber liberal, which, of course, Keir Starmer is proving he isn't. He's an authoritarian. He's one step away from Kim Jong-un, isn't he, in North Korea. He makes me want to vomit. And after Thursday, he should have resigned anyway. The worst performance ever. And all it says is harder, faster, right? What is up with the man? I want to talk about the rise of reform. What a tremendous reaction to them. And also illegal migrants and the small boats landing in Dover, because it's all about that as well. So I need your views. They're coming in thick and fast. Ring your mates up, get them involved as well. And if you like what I'm doing, press the like button. It's very important. It gets the algorithm to push the videos more. The figures are doing really well recently. So thank you for that. And don't forget, you can, if you want to donate, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee and donate a coffee or a beer, $5 or upwards. Or you can now do it on YouTube by giving me, what do they call it? A gift. Feel free. It's a sticker or a thanks. And then you get a little logo next to your name and you get prioritized, and I will give you a call out live in this show. Right. Has Labour, let's just remember what the question is. Has Labour under Sir Keir Starmer abandoned the very people it was founded to represent? That's the growing concern, not just in the Gaunty household, but across working class communities, the length and breadth of the UK. Obviously, a lot of people have decided, yes, he has, and that's why they voted reform, especially amongst white Britons. But it's not just white, is it? It's the working class. I think we feel completely ignored by the political elite, and therefore that means Starmer, because he's number one, isn't he? Oh, I'm going to give you an apology at the end of the show. Don't go before the end, because you don't get many of these in a Jon Gaunt broadcast. At the end of the show, I've got a big apology. You'll laugh your duck off. Serious, I've got to apologise. I'm big enough to apologise, and I'll do it at the end of the show. Right, Starmer in Parliament. Let's talk about that. Labour was once the party of the working man. We all know that. But if you fast forward to now, how many of you believe it's now a party of focus groups, media spin, and urban metropolitan elites? They don't know the life we're living, do they? With their rainbow laces and their diversity and rubbing our noses in it, which is what Tony Blair said, and them thinking that mushy peas is guacamole. That was Peter Mandelson. This has been coming for some time, hasn't it? Harder, faster. No, Starmer, the message we sent you is that you were completely on the wrong track. I also now confidently predict you will slash the winter fuel allowance. You'll get rid of that cut, because you've been given a smack on your backside, politically speaking. Harder, faster. What a plonker. Let's start with Southport, though. Let's talk about that, because that kind of, in a way, encapsulates what I'm trying to get at. After those horrific events, when Ruda Cabana killed 3 little girls but was trying to kill over 10 of them, it obviously shocked the town. It shocked the country. protesters came out. They took to the streets and they demanded justice. And why not? Starmer's response was he didn't say anything. He allowed it to build up and build up. Now, these people were wrong because they thought it was a recently arrived migrant and a Muslim. Well, part of that assumption is kind of understandable, isn't it? As most of the terror incidents we've had recently were by Muslims. But you've got to be careful because we didn't know. I was urging caution myself. But Starmer knew he was a Rwandan. He knew his name. He knew everything. Within the first day, before he took the wreath on the second day, he and that useless Home Secretary Yvette Cooper knew full well it was a non-Muslim, although there's some question now about whether he's converted. Separate issue. But they could have said it's somebody with mental health problems, and we wouldn't have been surprised because that's the normal thing, isn't it? The reason they didn't, right, the real reason, was because Prevent, which is about as much use as a chocolate fireguard, had effed up again. 3 times they had the chance to lock him up and throw away the key. 3 times they didn't, right? Also, I think he was apprehended 10 times with a knife going to school. What's going on? Starmer would have known all this. He would have known all this. And if he had said, look, it's not an illegal immigrant, it's not an asylum seeker, he has lived in this country some time, he was born here, right? But he didn't say that. He made out he was a boy from the valleys. He gave the impression it was a white boy, Welsh boy. That's what the impression Starmer gave. People didn't believe him. They knew he was holding something back. Farage famously said so. And then the riots kicked off. Now, some people, and I tend to favour this opinion, believe that made the riots worse or added fuel to the fire. Not just me. Starmer's his own terrorism czar, his expert, said not telling people the whole truth causes suspicion. I noticed today they have announced that I think it's 8 or 6 Iranians have been picked up by the anti-terror police and they had the police raiding the house. Is that a change of attitude after the slap on the backside? Harder, faster. Is that him changing his views? Because how many times do you watch a crime report and they say, oh, the person's this amount tall and the police are looking for help, but they don't mention anything else? They don't mention Ali snack bar or anything, do they? Have you noticed that? Well, change of policy today, it looks like, because they've actually said these are Iranian. This is all because they don't trust the white working class, the very people who put them in power, the very people who created the labor movement, the people who are in the trade unions, the working classes. They think that every time there's a terror attack or crime and it involves an immigrant, we're going to go and lynch them, put our KKK hats on and lynch people. There's no evidence that that happens. It's an absolute disgrace. They trust us less than they trust the terrorists. Rudy Cabana, it was quite clear he was a sandwich short of a picnic or however you want to describe it. Was he mad, sad, bad? I don't know. But what I do know is Prevent should have had him under lock and key. But no, they're more worried about us and a bunch of scallies in Southport kicking off. And then the lies come out. Oh, they're not local people. They're being bussed in. Complete and utter BS. Because when it came out, the court cases, all the court cases, people lived in the local area, whether it was in Coventry, there were rioting, or Birmingham, or Luton, or Southport itself. Why do they do this? Because I'll tell you why. They demonize the white working class. If anybody in public life demonized Pakistani Muslims like that, they'd be up on a charge. If this had been happening, the grooming gangs, to Muslim guys, girls, by white blokes, there'd have been hell on earth. You get it on Twitter at the moment. There's been 6 or 7 in Manchester. Filthy, white, fat paedophiles. I'd castrate them or I'd execute them, just as I would if they were Muslim Pakistanis. But there's loads of liberals come on and go, oh, I'd say you ever mention this. What? I condemn it all. Violating children. I condemn it all. But you obviously don't in your socialist world. You make me sick. And that's what Lucy Powell was doing. Oh, racist dog whistle. No, Lucy. People concerned about their children. And if you watch that documentary, Groomed, there's a load of kids who are in care, and it was happening to them. And I told you about this. I've known about this for 40 odd years. When I was in care, it was happening with some girls. Well, one girl in particular, right? Or two girls, because the other one died. But listen, I condemn it, whoever's doing it. And that program was showing you as well, it wasn't just girls who were vulnerable or who were in care. There was one girl, middle class upbringing, loved riding ponies. They violated her as well. That's why you've got to watch it. It's brilliant. So he labelled Starmer, rather than saying, yes, I understand there's a problem here, let's have a look at it, like he could have done after the election on Thursday. He should have said, when he said, oh, we hear you. No, he doesn't. He's deaf and mute. He doesn't listen. He's so flipping, he said the wrong word, flipping arrogant. He doesn't listen to us. He doesn't listen. He thinks he knows everything because he was the director of public prosecution. Oh, yeah. What happened with Jimmy Savile? You were the director of public prosecutions. Well, if that's the case, how come we've had a rape on an industrial scale, Mr. Starmer, for the last 40 odd years and after you left as well? How's all this add up? And why won't you give a public inquiry? No mention of their concerns in Southport. No acknowledgement of the fear of that community. Just dismissal and division. That's what he does all the time. He preaches, oh, we've got to come together, sing Kumbaya, not look back in anger. But he's constantly spreading division. Is that too harsh? Are you following me? Are you with me? I've been thinking long and hard about this argument. I say the white working class of this country have been betrayed by people like Starmer. Then, of course, let's move on to the grooming gangs. Many of them operated in towns just like Southport for years, although not in London. According to Gaunt, Starmer refuses, along with you know what I'm talking about, Angela Orena, and the other one, Jess Phillips, to have a full public inquiry. His reason, we're told it's about not inflaming racial tensions. Not inflaming racial tensions. In the documentary, Grooming, there were several police officers, Maggie Oliver being one of them, who was told, leave it alone. Don't investigate that car. And there was a copper involved, which is what I've said all along. It's not just about Muslims or Pakistanis. Other people were enabling it, turning a blind eye to it. All of them need to be in the dock. Not inflaming racial tensions. Oh, okay, then we'll just allow the industrial sexual assaults to carry on. It's pathetic. Isn't that the same excuse that allows the abuse to carry on for so long and for the girls never to be believed? They're now women. Even his own terrorism advisor admitted that withholding information, okay, about Rudy Cabana, but he meant generally, can increase tensions, not reduce them. So what's really going on? I'll tell you what's really going on. He doesn't like us. He doesn't like us. Him and the rest of the Islington cafe latte. Let's go to Zante on holiday and let's go skinny dipping and wear Birkenstocks and we can still get the Guardian there and we can have a tofu burger. That lot hate us. They hate us. They hate our sport, football. By the way, Coventry City, magnificent. But they hate us. They hate our culture. They despise us. They think we're plebs. They think we're far-right thugs. That's what they think of us. And that's why I think a lot of people said, well, up yours, I'm voting reform. I mean, that was an amazing result. Let's move on now to the Labour frontbencher. Yeah? Lucy Powell. Yeah, me too. I knew who she was, but only just. When people raised concerns about the grooming gang scandal on that programme on Radio 4, she accused them. I've listened to the audio. It's one of the worst things I've ever heard about this whole sorry sick saga. She said, oh, you're bringing up that dog whistling, i.e. anybody who's concerned with white girls being viciously attacked like this, you're a racist. You what? That's like when the dads went to get their daughters back. There's been loads of reports about they end up getting arrested. The girls in this, one of the girls in it has got a criminal record for introducing another girl into prostitution. She was 14 at the time. She was being abused by these men. And they haven't been convicted. It's incredible. So when Lucy Powell says you're using dog whistle politics, that's a serious charge. She later apologised after getting a rollicking, I imagine. But instead of holding her to account, Starmer, who's got the backbone of an amoeba, the spine of a blancmange, he accepted her apology with no suspension, no discipline, no nothing. Let me just put this in your head for a minute. Imagine if that was a Tory MP and said something similar. Would the response have been so soft? No. No. And then I'm going to finish off. I'm going to come to you things now. I just want you to hear my essay. While all this is happening, of course, the small boat crisis at Dover, I like to call it that. Yeah, the little boat crisis. It's nothing to worry about. 11,000 illegals getting into the country of fighting age. But it's spiraling out of control. Even the BBC are doing it. By the way, the BBC did not know how to report, did they, about Reform's amazing win. They're completely stuck. I saw their chairman. I quite rate him, you know. He was on Laura Kunsberg this morning. She said, well, would you put them in tents? He said, well, the French do. See, I was suggesting tents weeks ago. People said I was a racist. There's nothing racist about a tent. Have you never been camping? See, they probably haven't. I'm talking about army tents. It'll also put people off coming. If they know they're going to get squeezy soap and Hilton bathroom accessories, they're going to keep coming, aren't they? We've got to tell them not to come. Anyway, we'll move on. Every week, thousands of illegal migrants, and they are all illegal because they haven't gone through the proper channels, pardon the pun, they land on British shores. And the government, Starmer, he's paralysed with fear. He's like the cliched rabbit in the headlights, yeah? I would just press the metal to the floor, straight down on the gas in a metaphorical situation. Of course, I don't mean I would run him over really, but that's what I feel like doing with his attitude. Meanwhile, working class towns, right, black and white, are left dealing with the consequences, strain on the housing, public services, and of course, community trust, no police as well. So it's no surprise, is it, when you think about all this, that many traditional Labour voters are going towards reform. Why? Because, like it or not, Reform are talking about the issues that working class, he can't even bring himself up to say working class people. He calls them working people, like his dad. He owned a bloody factory. He wasn't a toolmaker. Anyway, the things that we care about are the things we talk about on this show. Crime, justice, law and order, immigration, and national identity, and being proud of our great country. The truth is, there is a growing sense of betrayal, a feeling that white working class voices don't matter anymore, that our concerns are either ignored or simply labelled as dog whistle politics or bigotry. Well, I'm no bigot, and nor are most people who have views like me. We just want to live together, get on, have a curry on a Friday, right? Get on with everybody. And I think most Muslims are like that as well. But this idiot causes more division because he thinks we're going to kick off, even though there's no evidence of that. Justice should never be political. And victims, regardless of race, religion, or background, deserve the truth, accountability, and action. And that includes white working class girls. So, quick drink of water. Your comments are coming next. We're going to have a humdinger of a row in a minute. Don't forget the big apologies coming. I hope, are you still pressing the like button? Yes, you are. That's great. Anybody donated yet? Come on, get donating. You get your name read out. So what do you think? Has Labour turned its back on the very people who created it and supported it? Is the fear of losing votes driving policy or silence? Are they concerned about losing votes in certain areas among certain communities, like Jess Phillips, so they don't be straight and honest and say, look, you've broken the law, that's it. I don't care whether you're whatever religion, you could be a Klingon, but you ain't doing that in this country. End of. You can be a Christian, or you can trace your heritage back 600 generations. You still broke the law, bang. Yeah? You just arrived, you broke the law, bang. That's how it should be, with me or no. Let me know in the comments at the bottom if you believe these issues deserve much more attention. Hit the like button. Subscribe. It's free to subscribe. And we're doing really well now. We've got nearly 3,500 subscribers. That means you get to know about when the show's on. And why don't you, with this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it? You know how to share a video, don't you? Share a video, just send it off and get them to watch as well. Because in a country that claims to value fairness, tolerance, justice, equality, egalitarian, we're almost French now, we can't afford to have a two-tier system of justice. Do you agree with me? I'm the liberal here. I'm the one who wants the same treatment for all people, regardless of the skin color and their religion. Starmer is the opposite. He's the bigot. Lucy Powell's the bigot. The BBC are the bigots who immediately think we, the working class, are racist and filthy, thick scum. That's what's happening here, folks. That's what's happening. And then you don't pay your license fee, you're going to jail. Right, here we go. Then let's get to your comments. Jenny Murphy on YouTube says hi. I say hi back to you, but now try and say something. David Edwards, yes, they did decades ago, and we're now abandoning him forever. Bye-bye, Labour. Rot in hell. Get Keir traitor out now. Yeah, well, I think he should have resigned. I think he will go relatively quickly, although they haven't got anyone to replace him, have they? Jenny Murphy has come back with a line. She just says, traitors. Thank you, Jenny. Caroline Crowley says, yes, 100% Gaunty, you're right. On Facebook, thank you. Dennis McGeekan, Labour is the party of Islam and trannies. What, radio people? I should join. Ironic, as they're very uneasy bedfellows. Well, that's true. Yeah, the minorities. I can see where you're coming from with that. Yes, we do need this. And cronies harder, faster, or removal. I see. Yeah, let's go harder and faster and get rid of Starmer. I don't want to wait another 5 years, do you? Harder, faster. Sorry, I'm being a bit childish. Starmer is to blame for Axel's family being in this country, says Jeff. That was an allegation that he'd been a human rights lawyer and represented his dad. I don't think it was ever proven, but we'll find out. I'll tell you on the next video. Don't forget, I've got my apology coming up at the end. Do you think this Labour crew will last 4 years? No. Because I'm dreading what will be left after them. They won't last 4 years. They'll be lucky to last 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 days. Disgraceful. When the migrants are made British citizens, who do you think they're going to vote for, says Dave Moriarty. Well, like the 16-year-olds that he wants to vote, they'll probably vote Labour. It's just ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to vote in this country till you've paid some taxes, and you shouldn't be able to vote until you're at least 22, 23. I used to always say, until you've got your own wheelie bin, you don't know anything about life. But maybe I'm a fascist. Humpty Dumpty says on YouTube, Starmer and Labour has sympathy for paedophilia. He has a long track record of it. I wonder why. No, be careful, Humpty Dumpty. He has represented paedophiles, but he's also prosecuted them, to be fair to him. There's this debate about Jimmy Savile. It is true to say there are members of the Labour hierarchy who used to believe in the paedophile information exchange and actually thought that paedophiles were the same as homosexuals, which if I was a homosexual, I'd be raging about. right? Completely different, but it's in the history books. John, they haven't been for the working class since the start of the Blair era. Well, I think that's where the rot set in. Andy P, thank you for that. Blue Van Man, we're not going to have you saying things like that, right? I don't care what she looks like or whatever, but that's just not a nice thing to say, and it defeats the argument. It makes you sound like a bigot, yeah? So don't say things like that. When did Labour last support the white working class? Says Sports Betting Tips. I don't know. Do you want to bet on it? I can't remember. It's probably when we went to war for them and shed our blood. I mean, this is why this idiot, he wants to bring back conscription because he knows nobody will sign up for it. And we're right behind you, Zelensky. You know, you're going to turn around and be like, what's his name? Rowan Atkinson. You'll turn around and none of us will be there. We're not right behind you, Keir. We're not. The only person who's right behind... Oh, shut up, John. Anyway, harder, faster. Lucy, pass the sick bucket. Powell, says Andy P. Well, that's right. Peter Lynch apologised and he died in prison. Yeah, he was the chap, wasn't he, who got arrested and put down. Where are we going next? What's the difference between white working class and non-white working class? See, I knew some idiot would say this. The majority population in this country is still white. So when I talk about the working class, I'm talking about the white. It's predominantly the white working class they hate. There's a dilemma for Labour and for all socialists when it comes to black or Asian or Oriental English working class. I'm not the one being racist. I'm telling you how it is, right? So don't try and score a little point because you just look pathetic. Dave Moriarty, my dad was in a YMCA charity shop yesterday. One of the usual suspects went up to the counter and asked for money. I might have to try that unless you start giving me some. All Labour will have left are the Rainbow Mafia and the social justice weirdos, says Andy. See, now, Blue Van Man, he says, the government is not your friend. Tell me something I didn't know. And then he goes on to donate £3. Thank you very much indeed. You're the first donator today. £3. Thank you, Blue Van Man. Thank you. Where are we next? Gay, I don't understand this. Gordy Boy says, Gaydhale and Agadida Islam, Gales against Islam. We stand united with our Anglo-Saxon cousins. Send me an email explaining that a bit more. Starmer gets it. Harder, faster. He doesn't have a Scooby-Doo. Absolutely right. He hasn't got a clue. He hasn't. Plonker. I wonder if he can spell plonker. What do you reckon? Got to finish in a minute. Martin Birchall, I think that there is a general election because this government is dangerous. It's time for them all to resign. Well, it's going to get to that stage, isn't it? It's going to get when it really hits the fan, when we all begin to really understand Rachel Thieves has completely messed up the economy. Ed Miliband has completely messed up energy, and we're living in the dark ages again. When it's a crime to be a Christian or to be non-religious, when you're not allowed to make a joke without being sent off to the gulag, then we'll know. But that's where it's going. There's no fun, is there? As the Sex Pistols sang, no fun. Have you noticed everyone's a bit miserable? I mean, I was overjoyed yesterday, Coventry getting in the playoffs. But, you know, where's the fun? Where's the light? Phony Iraq war was the start of the decline in this country. To a certain extent, I'd agree with that. Because he certainly didn't have the weapons, did he? Okay, he may have prosecuted a few paedophiles, but he's also released quite a few early from their prisons. Yes, he has. I don't agree with early release. I think it's an absolute joke. Thank you for your comments. Michael Bailey, Labour should be charged with treason. They're out to destroy our culture, our history, and our country. You've been listening to me for too long, but yeah, I would agree with all of that. Well, that's it. I'm going to send you off now into the Sunday afternoon abyss. Really delighted with how many people joined in. I only decided to do it about 2 hours ago. Fantastic response. Thank you very much. 28 of you have pressed the like button. That's marvelous. Tell all your friends about it. Share this video with them. If you want to donate, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt, or alternatively, you can do it via YouTube, either through the live ones or after when this goes up as a repeat. I feel like I've just turned a big corner this past week or two with the videos, getting more and more people. It's still not, I'm still not, what do they call that guy? Mr. Beast. I've not got millions of listeners, but it'll happen. It'll happen. And the best thing about it is, I just said to Lisa before I started, I said, I'm in such a good mood with it. When I decide to do one and I sit down, I just get, that sounds rude, I just feel great, and I feel great afterwards. I hope you do as well. And I'm going to continue to do that. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it harder and faster. So keep watching. Thanks for the show, Gaunty. I missed the last 2 weeks as my dad, my dad died. But I'm back now, so we'll be tuning in again, says Chopper. Oh, that's nice. That's nice of you. And it's hard. And here's the cliche. I lost my dad. I lost my mum as well when I was a kid. But I lost my dad when I was much, much older. After I forgave him. Bastard. Anyway, but what I would say is each day it gets better. And value the people who are around you. Starmer is delusional. He's no politician. Thank you. That's my last one of the day. Now, here's the apology. That was from Powell. The apology is this. This is an open apology to the whole of Coventry City Football Club and its entire fan base, including the Sky Blue Army and the chairman as well. I said it was a complete and utter ridiculous thing to do to sack Mark Robins. I still think it was handled badly. And I thought, now Frank Lampard, I thought it was wrong to appoint Frank Lampard and he wouldn't do any good. Shows how much I know about football. We're now in the playoff final. So I want to say congratulations to Frank Lampard. Congratulations to the players who yesterday remembered to actually turn up and play, which made a bit of difference to the last two games before it. But to all the fans, people on here who I abused and said, you don't know what you're talking about. Mark Robins, this is his team, blah, blah, blah. Well, I kind of still believe it to a large extent, but I can't deny that Frankie Lampard has done a great job. Super Frank. So there's my apology. Out in the open, I do apologise. That's nice. People are saying condolences to Chopper. Do you have any plans to visit any of the illegal immigrants' hotels, says Martin Birchall. Well, I've stayed in loads of them. I keep seeing him on the telly and I go to Lisa, oh, that's the one in Belfast. The BBC used to put me in. Used to have squeezy soap there. Oh, look, that's the one in Dunchurch where our Alex, that's my sister-in-law, got married. So I don't feel a need to go again. I've been to them all when they were bloody nice places. And these immigrants shouldn't be in them. I'm sorry. And they shouldn't be getting houses before people who've paid their taxes. No, it's wrong. And that doesn't make me a fascist or a racist. It just makes me a Brit. Makes me sensible, normal. Because when all these liberals go on and on and on, go, oh, you're a bit too right-wing, you're this, you want to put them in tents. What's your solution? And then suddenly there's tumbleweed going down the street. There's Clint Eastwood smoking one of those little cheroots. And there's nothing. There's nothing. We've got to act now. That doesn't mean treat them cruelly. It means treating them in a fair way. And a fair way is not putting them in to the hotels that I used to stay in Belfast and there's one in Glasgow. I stayed in that one and the big one in Liverpool. That's all right. Shit. They can have that one. But I have stayed in these places on X's when I was a somebody. It's pathetic. It's unsustainable. Unsustainable. Weather's nice again today. It's going to rain tomorrow, so we won't have so many. But how many more do you want us to take? Let's get out of the ECHR. Let's get out of Europe finally. Now we've got reform. Let's build the future. That's what I think. Anyway, got to go. If you've enjoyed the show, please donate. If you haven't, still donate because I'm keeping you alive. I'm back. It's Bank Holiday Monday, isn't it? So I think I will do one tomorrow as well. So check in at 6:30. We'll be back at normal time. Unless I get a better offer, somebody wants to take me out or something because it's Bank Holiday Monday. But I doubt it. I ain't got any mates. Okay. Until we meet again, if you've got kids, Give them a kiss, give them a hug, hold them tight, and don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.